Hey, yo, check it, man. You need promo out there, man. Get at me. You heard? Hit me up on Instagram at Real Saint Lad. Send me a DM or send me an email at thegenpopllc@gmail.com. You heard? If you're not promoting yourself on this channel, you missing being seen by thousands and thousands of people on a daily basis. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. You heard? Shout out to the homegirl Loca. Shout out to Boston, Roxbury. You heard? The whole Massachusetts, Dorchester. You feel me? Shout out to all the brothers locked down out there in Massachusetts. You heard? If you out there and you got Boston jail stories, Boston street stories, Massachusetts jail or street stories, get at me. You heard? Z-Man Suicide Polo with the Ski Man. You heard? I told y'all. I'm widening the female audience this year for a fact. If you're a woman out there that got jail stories, prison stories, street stories, get at me. I get you on the channel if your story is fire. You heard? Hit that Cash App up at $Gen Pop Fam if you love what I'm doing on this channel.
My father's an OG. They called him Pistol Pete. God rest his soul. He's a legend in the streets. And I remember one time, nigga, the Jamaicans from New York in the 80s tried to come in the projects in Boston and try to take over. And my father was one of them niggas that shot them the fuck up out of there, like out my grandmother's window with the shotty nigga. Shot at the Jamaicans, like, get the fuck, you're not about to take over our shit, nigga. Go back to Queens with that bullshit, you feel me? Like, it was real back then.
You did state time?
Yeah, I actually did. Like Massachusetts, when you get sentenced to two years and a day, that's considered state time.
So how you ended up? What you caught a case for?
I was walking the hostro and I was robbing tricks.
What you mean, at gunpoint?
Yes, gunpoint. I was working on 3rd Avenue in Chelsea, Mass. Back then I was a hostro. I don't know what it's like now, but back then I was a hostro. And I used to walk the hostro and rob the tricks at gunpoint. And one time I just got caught up, and then boom, it was really my nigga's gun, and he was facing bedtime. But you know, me being this would be my first case, you know what I'm saying? I was like 18 too at the time. So this being my first case, I was like, fuck it, let me just take this shit, you know what I'm saying? And I had it on me. The police tried to convince me to be like, oh, we know it's not yours, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, nah, this shit is mine. Like, I'm out here robbing tricks. Like, they don't got nothing to do with this nigga. Let him free, you feel me?
That's what up. That's real shit.
Yeah.
So what they gave you?
2 years and a day.
So what jail they sent you to first?
Well, they sent me to South Bay. House of Corrections in Boston.
How that shit was?
It was disgusting. Like, it was nasty.
What you mean? That's the county jail?
Yeah.
And what type of chicks be in there? Be mostly like street chicks or drug addict chicks?
I ain't gonna hold, just mad white bitches up there, like dope heads and shit like that. And then they sent me to Framingham. And it's the same thing. Like, you don't even see a lot of black chicks or black girls in Framingham. There's a lot of like Puerto Ricans and white girls. There was probably like 700 inmates within our whole facility in Framingham. And within that 700, there would probably be like 20 or 30 black women out of 700 females in the jail. Yeah, majority of the people that was doing time in MCR Framingham was either like Puerto Rican women from Worcester, Mass, to Springfield, Mass. White girls, doped out white girls. MCI Framingham. It was more freedom to move around, yard wreck, you know. The COs was pretty alright. Like, some of them abused their authority. Most of them didn't give a fuck. They really didn't like because Massachusetts go by county, so a lot of the girls that was up there was awaiting trial as well. So COs up there, they didn't really like girls waiting the trial. They just like to deal with the sentenced girls. It was pretty ghetto. There was this doctor named Dr. Phil. Believe it or not, his name was Dr. Phil. He got escorted off the premises because he was fucking the inmates. Like, he was a doctor. Like, you know, you have to go to see him to get checked up and shit. One time I was, you know, to get medically cleared, you gotta go to the infirmary or whatever. I go up there, this nigga's nodding out off his own supply in his office. I'm like, yo, this shit is wild. But they end up.
He was a black. You said he was a black dude.
Nah, some Spanish nigga. They end up escorting him off their property because I guess one of the girls told Ips or whatever, and then like a week later he offed himself.
Damn, crazy. What year was that like around?
This was 2010.
So what type of shit you was going through on that bed? Like, was it wild shit going down in the female prisons? Like, be fighting and stabbing, or what be going down in there?
There was fights. There was a lot of catty shit, a lot of fights, women fighting over gay shit, like bitches being in couple relationships, fighting just to be in a hole with their bitch. You know, some of the lifers there was fighting the COs. Mainly, it really wasn't like, you wouldn't see like a county time person or a person that's doing state time like 2 years or less fighting with the COs. But the lifers there, they didn't give a fuck. Like this girl named Sheila, she was like on some Queen Latifah shit, set it off type shit, nigga. She was big, bulky, stocky, and nobody really fucked with her. And one time, she kicked this, his name was Sergeant Tucker. He had a fake leg. I guess he was in the army at the time. He had a fake leg. And she kicked that shit off him. I myself was just very undisciplined. I didn't look at me being in Framingham. I didn't look at it for me to, like, you know, when you go to jail, you look at it as a lesson learned. I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it like, yo, I'm already here. What more trouble can I get in? Fuck. I'm not afraid to go in the hole. I'm not afraid to get disciplinary reports. I'm not afraid of none of that shit. Like, I'm just gonna fight. Like, cause I'm bored too. I don't know who the fuck these bitches is talking to or think that, like, I really wasn't a talker. 3, I just was hard-headed as fuck. I didn't really like authority. I didn't give a fuck about a CEO. Like, I called them like high-priced babysitters. I didn't care about them. So I would just get into mad fights. They was gonna ship me out, but it was like they made a deal with me. It would have to be mandatory for me to do like some type of DBT anger management group in order for me to stay. Cause it was like, we ship you. They was like, Philadelphia wants you, cause once you're DOC, like you can go anywhere in the country if you're DOC property. So it was like, Philly wants you in Kentucky. I was like, hell no. I was like, I don't want to go none of those places. So they pretty much made it mandatory for me to go to anger management group. I did that. Then I ended up like, fuck, I get parole. I end up fucking up and I wrapped my sentence, the rest of my sentence in the hole.
What you mean? You ain't even get a chance to go home?
Nope.
What happened though?
Cause I got into a fight. I'm on the phone. I just got out the shower. Technically, we're not allowed to go on the phone with our muumuus on, but the COs that was working in the unit at the time, he was cool. He didn't give a fuck. I was on the phone. I checked this girl because she was my friend at first. She started getting crazy. She started doing two-face, wild shit, whatever. And I caught her on it. You know what I'm saying? Like my other friends didn't have the balls to call her out on her funny shit. I call her out on her funny shit, whatever. So we're in the shower. She's like, "Oh, you're tough, whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm beyond tough, bitch. I'm about that. You know what I'm saying?" So I'm like, "If you ain't gonna do nothing, then shut the fuck up." So I walks away. I go to the phone or whatever to use it. She tried to come at me while I'm on the phone with my muumuu on. I don't got shit on my muumuu. So underneath my muumuu. So she's trying to try me. She's like trying to rub her body up on me, and I'm like, "Yo," I hang up the phone and I just started cracking her shit. Like, I promise you, I was trying to do so well, because mad people that was up there They know me. They know my family. They know me. They're like, yo, you know what I'm saying? We tired of seeing you going to the hole every other fucking 5 days. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, you're doing good. Don't fuck up. Like, you know, you have a chance to go home. Like, da 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 da. You know, I'm young, so you know, I was around all the older heads. They always just encouraging me to do good. But I'm like a hothead. Like, and plus I'm like, I don't know. I'm in prison. I'm 18. Like, you're not about to pick on me, bully me, bitch. Like, I have to show you. Like, I'm really about that, so I end up, like, beating the chick up, got sent to the hole, whatever. Then I end up having to do the rest of my time in the hole, so I rap.
How much more time you had to do before you got out?
I had to do, like, I had, like, 90 more days, chunk change. But they cut me in that motherfucker, though.
You said that chick was a black chick?
She was a Spanish chick.
And she was older than you?
Nah, we was the same age. That's why it bothered me, because it's like we were one of the youngest females in our facility at the time. You know, there wasn't really, you didn't really see too many like 18, 19-year-olds or 20-year-olds unless they got charged as an adult or whatever may be the case. But it was rare to see young females such as myself at the time up there in that prison. So I always like, you know, even though I was cool with the older heads, I always like, you know, it felt good to be around my age group. Because we used to check the older heads like, stop telling me I'm too young to be up here. You're a little bit too old to be up here. Don't you got grandkids? Like, the fuck you talking about? I'm too young to be up here. Bitch, you need to be an example. Like, you too old to be up here. Like, shit like that, you know? So it felt good to be around my age group. But she got crazy, started turning on niggas, started being two-faced, stopped chilling with us, stopped eating with us at the chow hall, all type of dumb shit.
What you mean? Like your team was what? Chicks from around your way?
There wasn't a lot of chicks from Boston and Framingham, so I was really close with the bitches from Springfield. So a lot of the girls, like the Spanish bitches, I was really cool with the Spanish people. I ain't gonna lie, the Spanish bitches from Springfield, Holyoke, Mass, Chicopee, Mass, shit like that. So the chick was from Chicopee, Massachusetts. That's like two hours away from the city. That's going to Hartford, Connecticut and shit like that. I was close with them. The girls that were from Boston, they had way more time than me. They was already there before me. They was, you know what I'm saying, already well established. Like, yeah, I was cool with them. But they was on some high sedity shit. I really wasn't feeling it. But shout out to them, because it's like we grew close towards the end. You know? There really wasn't a lot of bitches from Boston up there.
And you said you was fucking with a CO?
Yeah, I was fucking the CO in the mop closet.
In that same jail?
Huh?
How that shit happened?
We were just flirting. Eye contact. I used to say slick shit. He used to say slick shit. Then one time, like, I rubbed against him and shit. He grabbed me. And he had a whole wife. He had a whole fiance that was a CO up there as well. That's the crazy part. He had a whole fiance that was a CO up there. I didn't like her, and she didn't like me. But, you know, make a long story short, I started told the nigga, like, yo, I'm fucking you in this dingy, dirty-ass mouth closet. Like, you need to bring me some contraband or something. I need some cigarettes. I need some pro-style gel. Like, what's up? Bring me some contraband. Like, I'm about to just sit here and be, like, giving you push for free up in this motherfucker. You get to go home at night and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So I told the nigga, like, bring me some shit. But I never really told nobody, because there was a couple other women that was having affairs with COs, but the problem was they was too mouthy with it. They was telling bitches who they thought they were their friends, and then there's the police in the jail. They call it IPS. I don't know how they do it in New York, but it's called IPS in Massachusetts. So, you know, a lot of the girls would go to IPS and tell them what was going on. So me personally, I never really spoke about me fucking the CO with the girls, because I knew, like, from seeing other, you know, inmates in their situation, what could possibly happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a black dude though?
No. He's Italian.
But yeah, man. Did you ever holler at son when you got home though?
Yeah, he don't work at the facility and MCI Framingham no more. There's like he worked at I transferred to MCI, so that's a male jail.
And did his wife find out y'all was fucking around?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I didn't like the bitch.
He got a nice.
Girl, I don't know if she was high or something, but the way like Framingham is set up, like if you're A numbers are waiting trials. So if you're an A number, you're in the Smith building. The Smith building, there's East and West, right? There's East and West in the Smith building. So those are pretty much for people that's awaiting trial. Then you got the compound. So the compounds is different, like cottages. So you got Algon, you got Pio, Algon, Brewster 2, Brewster 1, Brewster 2. What's the other one? What's the other fucking one, yo? It's been a while since I've been up there. I'm so sorry. But make it long story short, there's like 5 different cottages. Those are the compounds. So that's like, you could see, if you look out the window, out the windows, you could see the yard. You could see people walking the yard and shit. And so one time, I'm walking the yard, and this is like when they have like 10-minute movements and shit like that. I'm walking the yard, and some girl, there's like a triangle thing in between Algon and Pio. So she tried to hop the fence, and then like she tried to hop the fence. It was crazy. Like her legs was cut up. Nah, shit. There was all the COs, mass COs was running through the grass. Everybody go on your units. Everybody go on your units. We running. We like, oh shit, I want to go on my unit. I want to see. They was like, go on your unit. I goes in. We see her. She got like mad chunk of blood coming off her legs. And then like she was just pretty much saying she was trying to go to Cumberland's farm. And she was going to come right back. I'm like, she must have been high because there's no Cumberland farms near There's no Cumberland farms near us. How you coming back if you're going to Cumberland's farm? What's the point of coming back? That's dumb. You know what I'm saying? But she was high. Then Ann Dukin was up there with me. Oh man. She was very well protected. I can tell you that. I don't know if you heard of her.
Who's that?
Pretty much the Indian lady that was tampering. She was tampering with evidence purposely for like a lot of criminal cases with drugs and shit like that. She was tampering with evidence. They end up charging her. You know what I'm saying? She went viral, famous. She's famous because of that shit. But she ended up tampering with evidence. So mad niggas, mad bitches got let off free out of jail. Like they didn't have to serve the rest of their time in jail because of her, because she was fucking up tampering with evidence, mainly to black and Hispanic people. And so she ended up having to go to Framingham, and they have like this dog program called Needs. And so she was training the dogs and shit. But she was up there, and she was very well protected. Nobody could do nothing to her because she was a high profile.
How many different jails they had you with on the course of that bid? Just those 2?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of in the state of Massachusetts, there's probably only like 4 facilities for women. So it's Barnstable, Dartmouth, House of Corrections in Boston, and then you got Chicopee, and then MCI Framingham. Mind you, I did my time in like the early 2000s, like 2010s, in the early 2000s, right? Now, like they're not sending women that's doing county time in Framingham, MCI Framingham no more. You could only be sentenced to doing state time. It used to be county time and state time because back then there wasn't. There's mad different counties in Massachusetts. There's Middlesex County, there's Essex County, there's Norfolk County. All those counties in Massachusetts, they didn't have a female jail in those counties, so they was all shipped to one place, which was MCI Framingham, Plymouth County. Yeah, Plymouth County. All those all those names I mentioned, they didn't have no jail facility for females, so they sent them all to Framingham. Now, because there's so much asbestos in the building, a lot of like toxic mold and shit like that, they're slowly like shipping inmates to different facilities because they're soon to shut down MCI Framingham. They're about to shut that whole shit down soon. But yeah, so now the girls go to like, if they're sitting awaiting trial, they're sitting at South Bay, or they're going to Worcester State County. Oh, so Worcester is going to Chicopee. My bad. If you're Worcester County, you're going to Chicopee. If you're Plymouth County, if you're Middlesex, Essex, you're going straight to House of Corrections in Boston. That's called the South Bay. Yeah, that's the South Bay jail. Since COVID happened, a lot of shit changed. It's not the same like it used to be. I'm proud of myself because I haven't been locked up in over 12 years now. I was wild. Even when I came home, I was scared because I was really a loose cannon. I don't know if like jail made me worse or more tough or whatever, but I thank God like I grew out of that shit because I mean, ain't really nothing out in the streets unless you ready to go back up in there. You feel me? I ain't nothing up in there for me. I'm trying to go back. I'm doing good.
It be female gangs up in there?
Huh?
It be female gangs up in there?
Yeah, Nietas, the fucking Puerto Ricans have their own shit, man. The Puerto Ricans is was running shit. The Puerto Ricans is running shit in Framingham.
You said it was Nieta chicks running the jail, like?
Yeah. Like, yeah, hard. Yeah, the Spanish bitches is running that shit. I ain't even gonna hold you. It's a heart of Boston to me. It's a heart of Boston. Like, before you get to Dorchester, before you get to all them other places, you gotta hit Roxbury first. Depending on which way you're going in the highway. But like, if you're getting off the highway, and you're going straight to Melina Cass Boulevard and all that shit, Dudley Station, all that, that's all Roxbury. Roxbury's the heart of Boston, if you ask me. Dorchester get it into like Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan. Mattapan is where all the Haitian niggas be at. Roxbury is like all the Puerto Ricans and the blacks, and you got the Cape Verdeans. It's a mixture between the Cape Verdeans and the Puerto Ricans. Certain parts of Roxbury, like Dudley Street. If you go on Dudley Street up in this corner, it's like Cape Verdeans and Puerto Ricans. And then when you get further up in the corner, then you enter in Columbia Road, which is Dorchester. Now you in Little CV, that's Little Cape Verde. Then you go down towards like Carmen Square area, Ashmont, Dorchester. Like you'll see all the Caribbean people, all the West Indian people. Like I don't know. Dorchester to me, it reminds me of Harlem. Roxbury reminds me of Brooklyn. And then Jamaica Plain, JP, that shit reminds me of like the Bronx. Cause there's like mad Dominicans and Puerto Ricans over there. I started throwing parties. I started creating groups. Like I went viral mad times on social media. So I took advantage of that shit and I started creating groups and shit for the city, parties and shit, like movements for like women and shit like that.
I know what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, the Cape Verdeans out there,
they get it in.
They more Spanishy or black?
I'm half Cape Verdean. Like it depends. Some of them are on their black shit. Some of them are on their Portuguese shit. Cause that's really what a Cape Verdean is. A Cape Verdean is Creole, like it's Portuguese and West African. So they really on their nigga shit. Some of them, like, it depends. Like, cause if you go to Brockton, Mass, some of the Cape Verdeans out there be on their Spanish shit. Some of them be on their Spanish shit. But a lot of them is on their nigga shit, yo. Word. They black. They look Spanish though. They look Puerto Rican. If you wasn't from Boston and you seen a Cape Verdean come like to Brooklyn or something, and you would have, before they would have told you it was Cape Verdean, you would have assumed they were Spanish or something. You know what I'm saying? But if you grew up and live in Boston your whole life, you could tell the difference between a Puerto Rican and a Cape Verdean or a Dominican. Like, you could tell the difference.
Yeah, man.
They're crazy. They're crazy. Cape Verdeans are crazier than the Puerto Ricans out here. If you want to see like the crazy Puerto Ricans and shit, you gotta go to places like Lawrence, Massachusetts, Lynn, Mass, Springfield, Mass. That's where all the crazy Puerto Ricans really be. But like in Boston, it's like the Cape Verdeans. It like we were just talking about that on the live, like nigga. Like, Cape Verdean to us is overrated. Like, we need some, they want some new exotic pussy, I guess. The niggas out there, they talking about they want some new exotic pussy. Like, they don't know Cape Verdeans all their life. That shit ain't exotic no more. Talking all type of shit. But, like, me going back and forth to New York all the time, like, shit, we pretty exotic to y'all, so shit, I don't know what the fuck they complaining about.
It's not that many Cape Verdeans that I know of in New York.
Exactly. So that's why like we're exotic to you guys, cause y'all don't see us too often. We're like out there, the niggas is like we're overrated. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause they're used to that shit out there now. I mean, they in the 90s. Niggas from Boston didn't even know what the fuck Cape Verdean was neither though. Like in the 90s, we didn't start getting lit until like 99, 2000s. Then they say, Cape Verdeans is crazy. We be beefing with our own cousins or killing our own cousins, all type of crazy shit. You know, niggas be related, beefing, all type of weird shit. I like how you did the whole Brownsville, explaining the projects. The most projects in Brooklyn is in Brownsville, right? Like, I think like you should expand your horizons, right? And like show a side of Boston that most people aren't hip to, because New York niggas will fuck with Boston more often if they know more about what's good out there, you know. So me talking to you about the Cape Verdean community and shit like that, like maybe you would have to break that down for a New Yorker to understand, so they don't think Boston's dry like that. You feel me? My father's an OG. They called him Pistol Pete. God bless his soul. He's a legend in the streets. And I remember one time, nigga, the Jamaicans from New York in the 80s tried to come in the projects in Boston and try to take over. And my father was one of them niggas that shot them the fuck up out of there, like out my grandmother's window with the shotty nigga, shot at the Jamaicans, like, get the fuck, they're not about to take over our shit, nigga. Go back to Queens with that bullshit, you feel me? Like, it was real back then. That's a whole different topic. Like, if you wanna talk about that more, we can set up another time and I can get into more depth and detail on that aspect, because the 90s is like, Boston is not the same. Like, it was way worse in the 90s and the 80s than it is now.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. I've told you, I've been out there a few times. Are you familiar with my YouTube channel at all?
No, I've been on your YouTube channel. I watched a couple of your I think the last video I watched was some boxing ass nigga up in the joint. He was like a one-hitter quitter, knocking niggas out.
Did you see the episode I just dropped with the chick from Boston?
No, let me go check that out.
I just dropped it today. That's a Boston joint. Check that out.
I'm not like I'm not like one of those that like a super tough gangster. Like I really just was walking a whole show, and I fucking was robbing the tricks instead of selling my pussy. You feel me? And then I was with the nigga. He was driving around, dropping me off, picking me up, and we got caught. And I said it was mine. Like that's really what it is. Like, I mean, I'm not a nuisance. I'm really known for, like, if you go on my Instagram page and you scroll down and see my content, I'm really known for putting people on the map, like putting people on, networking with other people. Like I had put a nigga from Jersey. He came all the way to Jersey to Boston to leg me so I can plug him in with another Boston rapper out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those. I'd be trying to connect the dots for people.
A new series I'm starting, because I got a series called When Chasing Your Eggplant Goes Wrong.
Like, shit niggas get into while fucking with the wrong broads. So she did an episode of when chasing your cat goes wrong.
Oh, shit.
You feel me? So her story ain't even on no street shit. It's just on some, listen, I got caught fucking with this nigga, and there's a story like that.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's dope. Hell yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so if you got a story like that, let me know. We get it in.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't never been in a situation where I had no crazy shit like that happen to me. I think I'm blessed because I ain't going through that shit with a nigga. I have a short tolerance. I'll be like, nigga, I'm done. I'm out. Like, we ain't going through that.
What's your sign again?
I'm a Leo.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that on your page, I think.
I don't got time. I'd be like, yo, you ain't tired of me? Like, you don't want to get some new pussy? Like, I'm one of those. Like, yo, go get your dick sucked from somebody or something. Like, leave me the fuck alone. They be like, Red, you want me to cheat? It's not cheating if I'm giving you permission to do it. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Give me 50 feet, nigga. Damn.